Good morning, everyone. Playing a little bit of Boros Burn this morning. Once again, very similar to the list that I recorded with last time on YouTube and streamed with a while ago on Twitch here. Not a whole lot special about the list. Typical Boros list. The only thing different right now is the split on Smash and Wear Tear. For the most part, this is the list we've been playing. As a friendly reminder, if you like what you're seeing on the channel, please consider giving us a follow here on Twitch, subscribing on YouTube, and taking a look at our Patreon page on our YouTube links. So, the main thing that's been plaguing Burn for right now has been the fact of Oko's prevalence in the modern meta, and there's really no concrete way to fight it out of the Burn deck. Different things you can try is attacking the board, with more one-drops like Wild Nakatl versions, trying to play things like situational things like Phyrexian Revoker or Fry in the sideboard. None of those have seemed particularly effective in combating Oko yet for the Burn deck, especially on the turn 2 plays. Some of these Urza decks with Mox Opal and Gilded Goose both being able to drop it down on turn 2. Beyond that, the last league out, I think we played against humans twice, which I think was a direct result of the GP the previous weekend. And then beyond that, it's been a lot of just mid-range and control decks kind of fighting back and forth right now. I think a lot of people's creative energies are focused more on Pioneer at the moment, so not a whole lot of people trying to innovate terribly much in the modern format. So that said, let's go ahead and get in the league, see how things go this morning. Normally I've been streaming at nights lately, but figured we'd give it a morning stream since, let's see, modern prelims, 5 hours, but that's not really what we're here for. Come on, modern league, there we go. Modern prelim events, which is a change on Magic Online where they're making it basically back to having dailies again, which is interesting, but it's kind of hard sometimes when you have a actual work schedule and a somewhat of a social life to schedule those, especially when you're just a kind of casual streamer. So, okay, just to get into the match and be on the play, which is obviously very good in modern, especially for an aggro deck. No lander, it's kind of unfortunate. Alright, I think we keep this hand. Probably ditch. Considering the amount of damage we could potentially take from our lands, I'm not sure that I want to keep a Sunbaked Canyon in my hand right now. So I think I'm going to pitch the Sunbaked Canyon. Consideration is the fact that we're going to have Idle on here. So, just play land, pass turn. Possibly should have led on Bloodstained Mire to kind of conceal what we're doing a little bit. Okay. Immediately stare down an Amulet deck. Immediately punished for fetching Sacred Foundry with drawing Inspiring Advantage. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have a Azusa this turn. Not exactly the matchup you want to see right out the gate. Yeah, it looks like this is an Azusa. And the fact that they happen to have the Radiant Fountain makes this draw all the worse for us. Oh, they still have Explorer, sure. But needless to say, either way, they get to replay the Radiant Fountain. And while we can certainly beat Amulet, it's not exactly the matchup that I got on my way to seek, that's for sure. okay draw. Damage might already be done. Depends on how many more bounce lands they have, whether that Skull Crack will be relevant or not. Opponent already should be at 10, basically, but because of double Radiant Fountain deploys. How about we didn't do that? One, two, three, four. So now we have the problem of, do we bolt the scout or because if we bolt the scout and they don't have another bounce land, which they could possibly do, they still get to Titan us next turn. If we don't bolt them, that puts them to 4. Or don't bolt the scout, we can put them to 4. Crack this and have 2 shots to potentially kill them, even through another Radiant Fountain activation. I think I'm not supposed to, because I think they're going to be able to Titan us either way. So yeah, they were going to be able to Titan us either way here. Wait to see what they pick back up. We're going to 4 here either way. So close, yet so far away. The extremely dumb part is they've gained 6 life in this game. So, like, they'd literally be dead right now for having Radiant Fountain in their opener. Yeah, there's no way around this. We can put them to... Creatures don't get through. And we can put them to 2. Alright, so... Definitely want the Skull Cracks. Beyond that... Not sure there's a ton else we want. Blazes are reasonable because they are the scout version. keeping in mind, not great, but they can tag Azusa's and Scouts. Could potentially bring in Path to deal with the big guys, but by the time the big guys come down, we're already in trouble anyway. Some people are gung-ho about bringing in Smash. The problem with that is they specifically have to have Amulet or EE, neither of which is a guarantee. So I think I'm just going to bring in the 2 copies of Skullcrack, trim a Blaze, and trim a Helix. Blaze only has limited amount of targets, but it can be good in spots. And Helix, life gain can be relevant in certain spots, but 4 lands. I mean, this is good pressure, but we could run out of gas really quickly, so I think this is a mulligan, unfortunately. This hand's fine. Kind of suffers from the same problem we had last game of no 1-drop pressure, but I still think we keep this one. Probably put back Boros Charm. Like, obviously Blaze has questionable utility depending on if they have a Scout or a Azusa or not. Okay, so they're gonna have the Scout, so I probably should have bolted there at the end of turn. An Amulet into Stirrings. Well then. So if they have another bounce land, we're pretty much dead next turn. For those of you who don't understand, Amulet plus Amulet, if they have another bounce land, equals 6 mana next turn. So then we're dead. What is the best play? Swiftspear plus Bolt gets the most damage down this turn. Eidolon gets the best play of this turn. And kind of hope we're not dead. I know they have Grove still in hand. Okay, for bounce land. So there's no way to play around dying here, so because if they have the Titan, we're just dead. And judging from the way they're and even if we had bolted them earlier, they'd be at 5 right now, so So what's likely going to happen is they're going to get 6 mana here, or actually more than 6 mana, play a Titan and kill us, because the double amulet means they can deal us 20 damage this turn, if they actually have it. And they do. Yep. Alright. Basically, they get these Boros Garrison Slayer Stronghold, make this a 10-6, and then get Vesuva plus Sunhome and make this a double striker. So that's why double amulet is so dangerous out of their deck. Burn can certainly win the matchup, but when you yeah. When your amulet opponent keeps 7, generally speaking, if they're any type of decent amulet pilot, you're just dead. So Modern right now, lots of amulet, lots of Etron, Okodex, etc. Not a very friendly environment for burn per se. This hand's pretty decent. Mana base deals us no damage, and then we get 1 drop into follow-up spells, so definitely a keep. So possibly Death Shadow. Yeah, looks like it's Death Shadow. Okay, maybe not. So we're gonna get Anglered this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just going to attack, hold up Boros Charm, because the card our opponent's most likely representing is Drown in the Loch. Be the card that would be most likely out of this. If they have Fatal Push, I mean, Fatal Push is Fatal Push. How many times will people not play around Boros Charm? Not get got by Stubborn Denial here. Yep, Grimag with Stubborn Denial, potential backup. So I can try to clear out Gurmag and then get blown out by Stubborn Denial on basically a 3-for-1, or I can just dome the face. Am I supposed to attack here? An attack could potentially put them to 1. Yeah, I think I'm just supposed to... Am I supposed to attack here? I think I am. And... good game. Alright. So, Death's Shadow. In the 2 path. And Skull Cracks, in case of Collective Brutality, and then the 2 Firecrafts, Sport Out, the 3 Blazes, and 3 copies of Skewer the Critics. It's going to be a hard card to turn on sometimes. Go like that. Sounds a little bit iffy with both copies of Path to Exile, but I still think it's a keep. Let's get the basics, since it's unlikely we're going to need a double spell here. Good chance this is just getting Fatal pushed, but... or bolted. Nope. Okay. So no 1 mana plays, huh? Okay, we're giving them all the lands. Brutality is a little rough, but there's really nothing we can do to play around it, so... gonna get the 3 for 1 here. It's like the card I didn't want to see. They're going to 16, probably ripping out one of our burn spells. Could potentially rip out one of the paths, depending on how their hand shapes up. the Helix, I'm not incentivized to cast Lava Spike right now. Of course you draw a Snapcaster Mage, right? Waiting to see exactly what modes they use. So they're going to 10 here. Stubborn Denial on top of everything. Yep, just drown and lock. Leaving Dismember in against Burn. Okay. I mean, well played by them, but having double Collective Brutality certainly helps a lot. Too many lands, unfortunately. Sand's okay, but not great. Question is, guess we put back Helix here. Maybe shouldn't have fired off the Spike or the Bolt here, but I'm gonna get hit by a discard spell either way. Probably losing Eidolon here. This is why it's so punishing to mulligan against them. Taking Boros turn. So I could hold up Skullcrack in case of Collective Brutality, but I don't think playing that game is going to necessarily get us where we want to go. So hopefully they don't have the Brutality here. Let's go to combat, see if they have the Fatal Push. Looks like they don't, so actually that puts them to 3, puts them to 14. So this is a weird dance we have. It's like, this puts them to 14. They can't quite deploy Death Shadow yet. Also, in a weird way, I played around Brutality a little bit from them killing Swift Spear. But I think we're so low on resources that they probably can pull into this one. Let's wait to bolt it until this turn. Alright. I mean, so this is hope this resolves and hope we draw either Firecraft or Boros. And we draw Eidolon. Yeah, not off to a very great start, but lost to Amulet and Death Shadow so far. The problem, like, the problem with Burn right now on Moto War Dog is there's just too. The players that are left playing Modern are really, 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 really good with their decks. So, matchups that in like decent to okay players against me with the deck matchup are a lot different than really, really good to great players with their decks. Like, both Amulet and Death Shadow are infinitely winnable for Burn, but if the pilots know what they're doing with their decks, it gets a whole heck of a lot harder. So, I mean, this hand's fine, but once again suffers from the lack of a one-drop creature problem. I have no idea what's going on here. Interesting, but I have no idea what's going on. Okay, some style of token strategy, it seems like. I don't ever remember Selfless Cathar being in a tokens deck. Now we're just drawing too many lands. Okay. I really haven't settled on a deck in Pioneer yet. The Gruul deck I played the other night was a lot of fun. Um, there's a lot of um, hmm. If they have raised the alarm, are we just dead here? Okay. A lot of things could kill us here. Any type of pump spell. It's a lot of silent clearings. I mean, I guess Searing Bloods are fine. Wear Tear, maybe. Bring these in the dark, and then go down. I guess we bring in Path in case they have core Firewalkers. 4 Boros Charm and Coward Split there. That's just how this morning has gone, though. Like, our opponent has an anemic clock, but then we just draw 3 lands. It's like, okay. Okay. Nope, opponent knows better. Props to them. If they have path, we get blown out so hard right now. Need to fetch that untapped. Or if they have raised the alarm, we're dead. Either way, this could go south really, really badly. You ever have one of those mornings and one of those leagues where you're just like, I should have just stayed in bed? Hmm. Hmm. Um. When your morning starts with Radiant Fountain and ends with double Oriok Champion from an underpowered tokens deck, it's a good day to be a burn player. Oh, my. Well, nothing says jank like playing your tier 1.5, tier 2 deck against a pile and then getting destroyed. So, to be fair, our opponent did at least understand the interaction with Oriok Champion and me attacking with a Scoblin guide, a Scoblin guide. Um, so I will say, despite our opponent playing an interesting pile, they at least understood the interactions that they were supposed to understand. Sure. Feels like our opponent should have done that in reverse order, but, you know, whatever. So... 10 points of damage currently in hand. Hardened Scales. Yeah, that's a very scary card. Sure. Okay. So the problem is if I don't kill them, or if I don't fire off Charm and Skewer here, then there's no chance I can double spell to kill them next turn. Does that matter, though? Does the flexibility of leaving up Lightning Helix worth not double spelling this turn? I don't think so. I don't think Ballista can kill us from here. Which is the only way they'd be able to, I think, kill us next turn. So I think I'm just supposed to double spell here and hope we rip a Bolt or a Skewer to kill them next turn. Or I guess Boros Charm would also do it. So that gives us, what, 9 outs to just kill them next turn? Am I dead? Welcome to turn 3, ladies and gentlemen. I still think the risk was worth it, but uh, hmm. Got the Boros charms. And one Eidolon and a couple copies of Skewer. I think on the draw I'll go down further on Eidolons, but okay, sure. Hand seems reasonable. Let's fetch a basic mountain since this is a pseudo aggro mirror. Welding jar makes smash a little bit worse. Okay. Another welding jar, another welding jar. Yep. We'll just hold up Skullcrack at this point. Steel Citadel. Third welding jar, sure. And Darksteel is one of the other cards in their hand. So if they have double Nature's Claim, eh. This is probably... Okay, Hardened Scales, sure. So probably have to shoot the other Goblin guy, right? Yep. Yep. Sure. Infinite blockers. Alright. So at least one card in their hand is likely a Nature's Claim. And I mean, they could just be doing a wonderful job of bluffing us. Like I said, though, if they have double Nature's Claim, this whole exercise is completely pointless, and I should have just fired off spells a billion turns ago. So the reason we're doing this now is if they don't have double Nature's Claim, then they're just dead anyway. Alright, they have at least one. Sure. Do you have a second one? I think you have a second one. You have to fire it off now, don't you? Said I don't know, man. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Alright, so I don't think we're in any danger of dying right now. Alright, so... Sure. Still think on the draw, I probably want to board out another Eidolon or two. Bring back in a Skewer. Could bring in Rest in Peace, but that really shuts down Ravager. Only actually part of Ravager. This hand isn't great, but I still think we keep it. It's not great simply because there's no early pressure. I think there's a good chance I'm just supposed to blow up this Hardened Scales. Darksteel Citadel. Give them the opportunity to block. That way they don't get the mana this turn at least. Doesn't matter unless you... Oh, crap. Nature's Claim. Shouldn't have done... I should have just done that during my own turn. Yep. That's what happens when you get too cute. Can you see I'm clocked in and not working? Oh, so you can do that as many times as you want? Oh no, because they're all coming in with +1/+1 counters. Yay! Oh, that is a sick combo. Because each one of these is coming in with a +1/+1 counter, so he gets to... Yeah. Yeah. Oh well. Mistakes were made, but yeah. Well, because this is on servo, anytime a servo was coming in from triggering off of this, our opponent got to make another dude for each mana they had. So, yeah. I mean, at least we learned something besides how to go 0-4, right? uh, Alright. Anyways, I'm not gonna beat my head for the fifth match here. We're 0-4. We can't prize, so I think I'm gonna just call it a stream. Unfortunately, I gotta get ready for work here shortly anyway, so no sense in continuing to beat my head against the proverbial wall here. But wanted to get a stream in this morning, get a burn league in. Not the best results, but yeah, definitely got some interesting games. I mean, at least I can't complain about that. But should have known the morning was going to be rough when our opponent starts out with Radiant Fountain. That's their first land drop. So, some days it's just not your day, unfortunately. Anyways, this has been John for MTG Nexus. Don't forget to follow the stream. And if you're over on YouTube, don't forget to give us a subscribe, leave a like, and leave a constructive comment down below. Alright, War Dog. Hope you have a good day, man. Hope to catch everybody later. This has been John for MTG Nexus.